Hey guys, I was going to do a quick little rant about, the whole social services cuts and what homelessness, quote unquote, looks like. And um, I kind of fall in the middle of that debate. I know that there were services and resources being pushed to people who didn't want them. And I also know that the allocation of funding per state was pretty messed up. I mean, because rather than tailoring services to people and giving them the services that they need so that they could better themselves and their lives, um, we're oftentimes pushed to people who have already said a number of times, I don't want those services. And yet, the vast majority of some of these services were not getting into the hands of people who could really use them to get out of their situation, whether they need to go to rehab or get therapy or get job training or whatever it may be. But anyway, yeah, it's so messed up. There's so much red tape and bureaucracy, and I've definitely seen it and experienced it. And it's a more complex situation than just saying someone should just go get a job. I mean, that's a very simplistic way of saying it because, frankly, there's a lot of people without a house who are beyond um, the ability to work, whether or not they're elderly or they have disabilities, whether it's mental or physical, um, and so just saying that services should be allotted in a one size fits all way, I think that that's what was happening. And I think that's why, um, all of a sudden these huge cuts were made. And it's like, wait a minute, instead of cutting everyone, why don't we go back and take a look at how each state was handling these funds and improve, the situation? So, it's just, like I said, it's very complex, and I could talk on and on about it for like 20 minutes on here. But so I didn't want to get into all that. My situation, I ended up without a house after a medical emergency. Prior to that, I was struggling with finding work. I was living paycheck to paycheck. So one missed or two missed checks and I can't pay my rent. So anyway, that's my story. I have no expertise in being a long-term houseless individual. Um, I was in a tent for a month, right? And thank God I have friends who are like, no, let's help you. Because most people know I did not want to be in that situation and that I would do everything within my humanly power to get myself out of that situation. And so instead of today getting on my soapbox, I'm extremely grateful. This is day 3 in Albuquerque. I already have one job offer. I had the job offer, and I'm totally ecstatic, and I should be celebrating. But I also know a lot of my friends don't get out of that hole, whether they're elderly and on a fixed income, or whether a number of reasons, whether they're struggling with different disabilities or disorders, um, or don't have a lot of connections and friends, or don't have family support or whatever. I mean, whatever the situation may be, everybody is different. And as my friend Shannon likes to say, you know, um, what works for me doesn't always work for you, and what works for you doesn't work for me. So I think it's good to get away from stereotypes and extremes. And it seems like this country loves extremes. It's like I've been watching some of these videos on YouTube, and it's like if you punch in hashtag homeless, it's always videos of people living in tents in the city, strung out on fentanyl or meth. Um, and that becomes the narrative for how people view people who are homeless. Um, and it's a damn shame. And no wonder some of these hysterical people get mad at, well, why are, they just need to get a job, or why are we supporting these people? No wonder they think that, because that's their view of who these people are. They don't know them personally, they don't know their story, and it's just easier to sit on our high horse and judge people, Let's face it. And I'm telling you, a lot of these people are Christians and alleged Christians. And what on, I mean, really, I hate the old, what would Jesus do? But what would Jesus do? Would they sit there and say, cut these people off? We don't want to see them, get them out of my neighborhood? No, no. So I don't know what kind of Christianity some of these people follow, but I don't know. That's not what, I grew up in church. That's not the Bible that I read. That's not the Jesus that I was, taught. So, yeah, it's madness. But anyway, guys, I should be celebrating. Yay, yay for me. And I'm going to continue busting my butt. I'm not out of the woods yet. I haven't gotten a paycheck yet. I was worried because I had to go buy groceries today. So, yeah, but anyway, it'll eventually work out. Um, and I am grateful for all of you and my friends. I couldn't have gotten this far without you guys. So anyway, love you guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.